Hey there, thanks for checking out this demo. This is an Acade LED Marquee, which we have dynamically hooked up to an Acade front end. So in this case, we're using Maximus Acade. So let me just show you a quick demo. I'm going to go ahead and launch the front end. And you'll notice that when the program launches, we've told it to automatically display a default LED Marquee upon launch. So that's when it gets displayed actually right now. So that's our default image. I'm going to go ahead and go into MAME. And as I pick a game, so let's start with 1941, it's going to pass that game to our LED controller and automatically set the LED marquee. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do 1942. And we'll see that change. So what's happening here, and by the way, when I exit out of the game, we've told it to go back to the default LED design as well. So that's also automated. But what's happening here is these LEDs are actually two of these panels, and these are 64 by 32 panels. So two of them is 128 by 32 resolution, and they're both being controlled by this Pixel controller board, LED controller board. So that's what's happening there. And the controller board is USB connected to your PC. So you don't need to worry about a bunch of wiring, just USB connection to your PC there. So that was MAME. Let's go ahead and show Atari 2600. And what I'm going to do is first pick a game that we do have a design for called Adventure. Okay, and then when I exit out of here, what's going to happen is it's going to go back to a default image for that emulator now that I've exited out of the game. And then likewise, if I pick another game that doesn't have a default image defined, it's just going to default to the emulator default image, which again is this one. So if you go to this website, you'll find a software install. So you can just go ahead and download that and install that. And once you install it, you'll see under your Maximus Acade install a new folder called Pixelcade. And this basically just has a bunch of scripts that we use to match the game that was selected with the LED from these various designs. So you don't need to worry about any of these scripts. This is all taken care of for you. But what you can do is you'll notice that you'll see a bunch of folders here. So for example, Atari 2600, if I click on that, if you have a particular game that you like a lot and you want to have a custom design just for that game, then you'll just simply drop a new GIF file in this folder, and all you need to do is match the GIF name with the ROM name. So if the ROM name was Adventure 123, you would simply add a GIF called Adventure 123, and then the program will automatically pick it up. That's all you need to do. And after you install that, you'll need to do a little setup in Maximus Acade. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here into Preferences, click on Configuration, and for each game, unfortunately I wish there was a master script that you could use, but Maximus Acade doesn't provide that. So for each game, so for example, for each emulator, you go in here, here's Atari 2600, I just go here and I tell it which batch file to run, and then I have a little command line parameter as well. And then also likewise, I tell it a batch file to run when I exit out of that emulator or out of that game, so it can go back to the default image. So you'll just do that for each one and select the appropriate batch file for all the ones that you want to have matching LED displays for. And then if I go over to Options and Startup, this is where I can define the default LED marquee that launches when Maximus Acade first starts. So that way I can always have my startup graphic or my branding to go with my Acade machine.